This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, the FAA, they're in charge of like all the flight stuff. They've officially opened up an investigation on a YouTuber accused of purposefully crashing his plane and parachuting out of it to get views. And here's that moment that YouTuber and Olympic snowboarder Trevor Jacob had his crash landing.
Ow. Oh my gosh. Get me out of this. Come on. I guess I should probably document what's going on. I cut my finger pretty bad. Got my elbow. I'm just so happy to be alive. Well, where the hell am I going to land a freaking plane? I'm going to die. That's why I always freaking fly with a parachute.
And a trusty camcorder that I could put things on YouTube. I'm looking at the video, and it's pretty crazy. It's got over 1 million views, which you would think it'd get more.
Yeah, you think so. But this is the way he's at least made it sound in that audio cut we had was that he was not planning to do that. But now we're finding out that indeed he did plan to do that the entire time, and that's what the FAA is looking into.
Yeah, I guess they frown upon you just like, for funsies crashing a small plane. Yeah. The footage is insane. I mean, if it was like, not done intentionally, I'd be like, this is so epic to see. But like knowing that it was probably just like he forced that, it's kind of dangerous. I mean, well, not kind of, very dangerous. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm split on this guy because of the fact, look, we see all sorts of things happen for the sake of making movies, but they get permission, they have tons of safety, all of this stuff. I just can't imagine this guy did any of that because it's just him. Right. And, so even if he's trying to do it for entertainment, which I don't have a problem with, you got to do it the right way, dude, because so many things could go wrong when you're just, hey, I'll do it myself. That's just nuts. I would never think, I need more views on my YouTube page. I got it. I'm going to crash my plane. I guess he thought like financially it would be a bigger deal to get all those views to make up for the loss of a airplane, unless he was just kind of done with that plane, didn't care.
Yeah, that's a really good question because those airplanes aren't cheap. And for 1 million views on YouTube, I mean, I don't know, unless unless he gets a lot more of attention. But I mean, I don't know. Do you want to go watch his page anymore?
Well, I wasn't planning on it anyway. I just clicked on the link out of curiosity. And I'm looking at his other videos. Like he, at most, is getting about 50,000 views, but some of his are just in like 1,000, 5,000. Oh, he has like a 400,000 view on one of them.
He does a lot of stupid things, though. Like he posted a video that says, I went to prison for train hopping. And he shows the whole experience of him train hopping, including his mugshot and everything. I feel like it's just,
Yeah, it makes it easier for me to believe that the allegations about him actually crashing that plane on purpose, it makes it easier for me to believe those allegations.
I guess some people thought it was a stage thing because typically pilots don't usually fly with a parachute on. Yeah, Imagine you got on a plane, see your buddy, he's already wearing the parachute. I'd be like, I'm going to sit this one out. You go up there without me.
Yeah, I don't know. And plus, the parachute's pretty bulky. So to be able to actually, to fly the plane if he had the parachute on his body, which is what you'd have to do. I don't know if you'd have time to actually put a parachute on if your plane was crashing. I don't know anything about this, but it does seem fishy to me.
And he also just bought that plane and told the seller that he was going to do something special with it, but didn't elaborate.
Oh.
I'm going to crash it.
I wonder how much that plane costs. Sometimes they cost six figures. Those kind of planes. It looked like a Cessna-ish kind of plane to me.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of plane, but there's a single engine plane.
Yeah, I feel like those are six-figure planes.
This is something to kind of lend a little bit of a conspiracy to it. So this happened back in November 24th. And that just happened to be 50 years ago when D.B. Cooper famously jumped from a hijacked plane.
Wow.
Just reading another article that states that. So, I mean, it could just be a weird coincidence.
Throw the book at him.
Yeah, this is not a...
And
the plane.
And all of us Marvel fans know that Loki was the one that actually was D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, right?
So there we go. Don't worry, Steve. You have to watch all 6 episodes. I don't think you're in for that.
Yeah. I might have already seen it for all I know.
Yeah, you probably did. Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, speaking of entertainment, man, this is pretty cool. I have to say, Tom Cruise, man, I want to see this happen. He is developing a movie that will be shot at least partly in outer space. Wow.
On the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
The Star Trek convention, yes. The first Star Trek convention.
You almost got it, Steve.
I got the right show this time, at least.
Good job, buddy. So how about this? There's a company producing this movie. It's called Space Entertainment Enterprise. And the idea is that they are basically going to be building this outer space studio. A studio that's actually in outer space. And they're not stopping at just one movie doing this because they really want to have this. They want to have a film, TV studio, along with a sports arena all in orbit.
Oh, can we see the Kraken play in space?
What? Space
How
sports?
insane is that? I mean, I assume there's a level of weightlessness, which really, for a lot of sci-fi movies that are trying to recreate, like when people are on the moon or when they're in a space station and that weightlessness, I mean, they go to a lot with wire work, but you wouldn't have to if you were actually shooting it on a space station. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about it. This is nuts.
That's like when they were trying to recreate, I think, stuff for like maybe Apollo 11, and they had the Vomit Comet, which is the airplane that goes up and down so they can recreate weightlessness. They don't have to do that anymore.
No.
They can just do it in space.
Wow.
I love this. This is
I wonder
cool.
what sport you're going to play there.
I mean, well, you could actually play...
Baseball.
You could play Quidditch, really.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
the Harry Potter game?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, ride the broomstick. This time you really could ride a broomstick.
They could ride broomsticks.
But is it going to be like in a bubble where like you will have, where you're not just floating around because you don't have the gravity and all that crap?
You're going to be floating around no matter where you are. You mean would you be in space and you just drift away in space? It's all going to be enclosed.
I guess. I'm just very confused by like what sport can you really play?
Soccer?
I agree with you. I don't know what you could play.
Lacrosse.
That might help our offensive line issues if they had the Seahawks play there, because then Penny Hendricks could just like float above everybody.
Oh, wow. Dude, Steve, space wrestling.
My gosh.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I might actually jump off the top rope if that's the case.
Just float away.
Steve just keeps flipping and spinning. He's not coming down.
No, he's having too much fun. I think the match is over.
He got counted out. He never made it back to the ring. He's just been floating around giggling.
Imagine, though, like whatever sport you're playing, people could shoot from the ceiling. I mean, basically, like if you're trying to score a goal in any kind of netting at all, or, like with Quidditch, which is just a big hole you throw a ball through, that you basically, it's like watching Inception sports. Like, this is nuts. People, coming at you from all angles.
It's like when they did basketball on the trampoline floor. You ever see that? Like, it's on I can't remember what channel it was on, but it was like trampoline basketball. And they were just bouncing and flying and hitting walls and stuff. This would be even more extreme.
Yeah, and you could literally, would it count if you shoot if you shoot the ball from under the basket? You know what I mean? But have it go through the net? Yeah, I mean, because you could do that when you wait. They're planning on having this whole thing built by 2024. Oh, so which is not a long time from now.
We could have space synchronized swimming. It'd be like synchronized floating.
Dude, we could do our show up there. They're saying that they want people to be able to produce, record, broadcast, and live stream content from the facility. I would love to do a show from space.
In space!
How cool would BJ and Migs in space?
That would be amazing. About my commute from Puyallup to Seattle. Now you want me to go to space every night?
I know. And I don't know if I could survive the G-forces, to be honest with you.
Dude, the Muppet Show had pigs in space, Migs in space.
Okay, for that reason, I'll do it.
Perfect.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, there we have it. We have a reason.
As long as I get to float around.
Yeah, the company's like... This will provide a unique and accessible home for boundless entertainment possibilities in a venue packed with an innovative infrastructure which will unleash a new world of creativity.
And would you say how soon this could happen in 2024?
2024, they're going to have it up and running, according to them.
That seems a little too soon.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
2 years from now?
Hey, listen, these
We're
guys...
going to make that kind of a jump?
Wow. I can't wait to see. Tom Cruise will be the first guy movie apparently doing it. And you know Tom Cruise, how he likes to do a lot of his own stunts and do all this crazy stuff. Imagine what that guy is going to do in space.
So I said, what about space porn?
Oh, well...
that could be a sport.
Yeah,
it's like the tail on the donkey, but like in space, you just have this guy, like, he's just like, I'm going to get ya.
They already have like the wrestling videos, not that I've clicked on those thumbnails. So, I mean, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Just
we can't have nice things with you, too.
Oh, so we've sullied the space adventure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll probably be some pornographic opportunities recorded up there. You're probably right. Someone's going to want Vivid, or someone's going to want to be able to say, we're the first ones to have space porn.
So it's a girls' oil wrestling would be awesome in space.
Yeah, it would.
That's pretty much awesome everywhere.
Yeah. Space Jam is actually happening.
Yeah.
Is one texter said.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. You got a real life Space Jam happening. Hopefully it's better than what LeBron gave us.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet to make my decision on whether.
From what I hear, I haven't seen it either, but from what I hear, you're not missing a lot. So you probably like it then.
Yeah, I probably will, because I do like LeBron, and I feel like there's just this weird agenda against LeBron James.
Oh, here we go. All right, you should. You know what? You should watch it just so you can say you love it, just so you can irritate me.
All right, I'll try and work on that this weekend.
Get that done.
I got almost 80% on the tomato meter.
From really?
From audience.
Oh, I was going to say from the LeBron James family?
You don't want to know it's 79%, but you don't want to know the actual tomato meter. 25%.
Well, that's interesting, because
you got 2 digits.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
I recently watched a movie that was actually not. They didn't do well in the critique, but I actually liked it. And it was a movie called Anna. And I mean, it was an okay movie. It was, it wasn't fantastic, but I like the director. It's the guy who did The Fifth Element, and so maybe the audience is right. Maybe this time, maybe Space Jam is better. Space Jam 2.
Is it better? Did they have a better score than the original Space Jam?
Well, that's a good question.
I think the original Space Jam was critically received well, or at least fresh.
45% on the tomato meter, 63 on the audience score.
So the audience liked the new one better than the old one.
Yeah. I called BS.
Yeah, I thought the original one was loved by a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah, so I can't believe LeBron's version is better. Okay, maybe it is. All right. I don't understand this whole ratings thing.
Well, people go online and they give a score, and then they aggregate the scores. And that's how they come up with these ratings.
Oh, thanks,
Steve.
You're the best.
Well, you asked.
Well, I didn't ask. I just made a statement, but thanks for your help there, Mr. Wizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just here to share my knowledge.
Are you, though? Okay, good. Hey, we got a well-known celebrity that shared that she stopped dating a popular actor because she was freaked out by a character that he played in a movie. You're going to hear from her at 8:20 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Martha Stewart, she was on Ellen and shared a crazy story about how she dated Anthony Hopkins in the 90s.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't. Yeah.
That was a well-kept secret. Or, then again, I'm trying to think, man, I don't know if I really was super aware of Martha Stewart in the 90s, to be honest with you. So I don't know, but I didn't know. I knew of Anthony Hopkins too, but yeah, they were dating for a while, but then she ended up dumping him. And the reason, man, you know what? If you really were Anthony Hopkins and you were digging Martha Stewart, you'd be like, are you kidding me? Really? Yeah, she dumped him because she could not get over his performance as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, funny.
I have a big, scary house in Maine that's way by itself on 100 acres in the forest, and I couldn't even imagine taking Anthony Hopkins there.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
All I could think of was him eating,
Right. Wait, did you date him?
Yeah.
And you stopped because of that?
Yeah.
That was such an iconic character, and it freaked a lot of people out.
Yeah.
What if like you were like eating something and they're and he's going or whatever that sound is? That yes.
And he only ever eats or drinks Chianti with anything.
Right. He's having soup. He's like, would you like some Martha? And it's just like, yeah, I'm out, deuces. Yeah. You're freaking me out there.
That's awesome.
Is there a more iconic character like when you think of Anthony Hopkins, the first thing he's been in other movies, and I'm sure someone will be like, well, actually, I think I remember him from, but 99% of the people out there, you say Anthony Hopkins, you think Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah, it's
totally. Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's what you know him for, really. I mean, that's when he came on my radar, even though he is a terrific actor and has done many great things. You're right, Steve.
Because I'm trying to think of like another actor where it's just like, there's not an argument. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one role. Like, I was like, Tom Hanks. Shatner, Captain Kirk. Yeah. I'm more of a TJ Hooker kind of guy personally.
Okay, there you are. You know what you are? You're being those Anthony Hopkins people that will tell you, oh, here's another thing.
Actually.
Yeah. Shatner, look, I mean, he's done great stuff, but he's Captain Kirk.
Yeah. I was thinking like Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, but man, he's got so many other roles.
He's done so many other things.
Right.
See, I almost said Harrison Ford, but he's, Indiana Jones and Han Solo, so it's kind of hard, these two.
That one, you can argue for both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you really could. It's pretty nuts how he was able to create two iconic characters you could easily identify him for.
Well, even going with that, just Mark Hamill with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows, yes, he's done other things, but...
Well, actually, I know him as the Batman voice.
No, it's the Joker voice. Come on.
Damn it.
Nice going, buddy.
Fake nerd.
Meanwhile, Kevin Conroy, the voice actor, is going, F you, Steve. I was the Batman voice.
That's impressive that you even know that.
I know, right?
What about Harry Potter? Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, Daniel Radcliffe. All of them will be known for that. I mean, Emma Watson's done a lot of stuff, and arguably out of the three of them, you might argue that she might be the best actor out of all three of them, at least with the amount of work that she's done. But though I know that, Rupert is also, people think he's a great actor too, played Ron Weasley. But you're right. Those three kids are always going to be those three kids.
Well, and Daniel Radcliffe is going to be Weird Al now. Yes. So, I mean, at that point,
that
might be his most iconic character.
Oh, how do you say? I don't think there's nothing he's going to do. It was 10 years of movies as Harry Potter, and he grew up as that. I just can't imagine Daniel's going to ever escape that.
But which is crazy because it's a younger version of him. Anthony Hopkins, like he's still, he will look like that character forever.
Well, he's kind of an old dude now. I mean, he really is an older dude now.
But he was old then as well, so I mean, it's not too far from that.
So it's Michael Keaton as Batman?
Yeah. No,
I don't know, man.
I loved him in Beetlejuice.
I was about to say Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice to me is that's what I think of for Michael Keaton because he was definitely a super standout in that.
But a good argument for Batman. I mean,
there's so many Batman. I think that's the problem. Yeah. So many people have played that role. But nobody's done Beetlejuice. But, I mean, I get it. No doubt about it. But honestly, do you think anybody even has watched some of those old... I mean, Danny won't even watch the first Batman movies. So I don't know if Tim Burton...
Well, I just recently rewatched it, and I liked it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I'm just jaded because I was dragged to them. It's not because, I have some vendetta against...
I just feel like the younger generation might not even know or care. I think like for Keanu Reeves, he's got a couple, but I think it's either Bill and Ted or it's The Matrix, right?
John Wick, mother effer.
Oh, God, yes, of course. That's three. You're right. Totally forgot about John Wick.
You got a little aggressive there, Steve.
I did. Well, I mean, John, you have to when you're saying John Wick.
That's
That should be the name of the next movie. It should be John Wick, mother effer.
Keanu Reeves has really made a lot of iconic characters. Think about that because he was also in Speed, and that was an iconic, that was a hell of a movie till, The Matrix came around, and then all of a sudden he was Neo. But you're right.
Point Break.
Point Break, arguably, you got to give him, I'm an FBI agent.
He was an FBI agent.
He wasn't the worst actor in that movie.
No, not at all. So he's created a few iconic characters. So it's not just one that you know Keanu for.
He's not a no-brainer just for one character.
Bruce Willis, John McClane.
See, I
think about the Moonlighting television show.
Wow.
I was going to say
what were you going to say, Vic?
Fifth Element for Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
And that's what I think of, too, to be honest. Yeah.
Sixth Sense.
See dead people.
Yeah. And so Bruce, it's
Looper.
And Moonlighting was a huge show. Looper. Well, it was good in that, but Oh man, I mean, it is really tough to just go. That's the one, like Anthony Hopkins. That's the one role.
Ooh, someone's got a good one. But there's an argument that you could throw Rambo in the mix, but Sylvester Stallone, Rocky.
That was what I was going to say, because I don't think of Rambo when I think of
No.
Yeah, I think of Rambo right away, though.
Yeah, me too. Rambo's a very, very iconic character.
But do you think of Rambo over Rocky?
Well, I like those Rambo movies better than Rocky movies, which I know is sacrilege. But I
if you were on the phone, I'd hang up on you.
Yeah, well, I hate that. But right? Him fighting a guy in a ring is, to me, a lot less interesting than him just blasting the hell out of all the
It
bad
was
guys.
more than just a fight in the ring. It was about a man that just wants to be respected. It's a love story. There's so much more going on, man. Hey,
yeah, you're right.
Hey, Mickey.
Yeah, he communicates so much.
I don't know why he was Yogi Bear.
Hey,
but
Mickey. Yeah.
Hey, Mickey.
Yeah. Well, Burgess Meredith, now that you talk about it, iconic role as Mickey, but also the Penguin. Like, that guy did a lot of stuff, but growing up, Burgess Meredith was the Penguin in the old Batman show, no doubt about it. And that was his thing. Like, he was out of all the Batman villains, the Penguin was like, you knew that was that actor.
Okay, what about Arnold Schwarzenegger? What's the first movie you think of?
Predator.
Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator.
Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, there you go. Good one, too.
I would definitely go Terminator.
It's got to be Terminator for him.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
You mean not Jingle All the Way?
Oh, that's a good movie.
Oh, go home.
I'll be back. I mean, that's the thing, and that's Terminator right there. So, yeah. All right. So, that's wow. Man.
Fresh Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah.
I think, but he also Men in Black.
I was
Agent
thinking Men in
J.
Black.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was big for him.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He's the same character in everything.
Wow.
He's just Sam Jackson and everything.
It's pretty wild how he always brings his Samness to everything. It's wild. And yet, it never gets old. It's like, whatever he does, I love him in every movie he's in.
I have had it with these snakes on this plane.
I'm glad we still have that.
Yes, forever.
I was thinking the same of Christopher Walken. He just plays the same character in literally everything.
Yeah. Pow.
But something.
You know what's weird is that when I think of Christopher Walken, besides, of course, Pulp Fiction, I instantly think of the Fat Boy Slim video.
Yeah.
He's dancing? Oh, hell yeah.
That's what I'll always know him as. Like, that would be the first thing that pops into my mind when you say Christopher Walken.
And for me, it's the watch scene, obviously, because it's such an amazing scene. And also the more cowbell, I think, even though that wasn't a movie, those are the two things I think of with Christopher Walken.
Such a good one.
Yeah, man. Which is, if he's sitting there, if he's like, really, that's the highlight, that's what you remember from me. Thanks, people.
So it said Sean Connery, James Bond.
Yeah.
Somebody I was thinking was Betty White. Because
Golden Girls.
She's always Rose from even in her later years when she was doing
the Cleveland show.
Yeah,
The Proposal.
It was Rose is in the whatever show.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, I would say that's the case. Yeah, good call on that one. And she did a lot of stuff, but you're right, that was probably what she was known for.
Oh, this is a good one. I'm curious to see what you guys will say.
Okay, we're talking about folks who are just known for the one character they play, the iconic character.
Right, you say their name, you instantly think of this character because of Sir Anthony Hopkins. Obviously, you think of Hannibal Lecter. Okay.
Yes.
Danny DeVito.
The Penguin.
Oh, no.
Wow.
You know what? The first one that came to mind?
Wow.
Louis De Palma from Taxi.
And that's only because that's the first time I saw him, Rev. I'm with you.
Oh, yeah, same. Absolutely.
I don't know, though, man.
Mine is Twins with Schwarzenegger.
God, but he's been on Always Sunny for so
Always
long.
Sunny.
Oh, yeah,
That
Frank Reynolds.
character is
Yeah.
Frank Reynolds is so iconic to me. And they just had their last season, by the way, which was so good. They went to Ireland. If you haven't watched it, it's I think one of their best seasons, which I know it's hard to bring people back who've gotten off the Sunny train, but I really thought this season was good.
I was going to pick one that you guys maybe have not even seen, Matilda.
Okay. I've seen
Matilda?
Matilda.
What the hell is that?
Oh, it was like the best.
It's a movie, Steve.
Is that who you think of
It's
every
got
time
Danny
with DeVito?
DeVito in
though?
it.
It was
Is that
torn.
iconic for you?
Like both Matilda and him playing the Penguin were a big part of my childhood.
Wow.
So it was kind of like,
and he directed that movie too, didn't he?
And apparently, after the little girl who played Matilda, her parents were going, her mom had suffered through cancer, and him and his wife took her in and took care of her. I just hear nothing but good things about him.
Well, it's a good, it's a good movie. I wonder how many people, but you know what? That's your generation that identify with him, and especially as the Penguin in the second Batman movie, which Danny hasn't seen. And Danny, Tim Burton is out of his mind in that movie with what he does.
I have seen it. I was dragged to them.
So you still don't have any luck because Christopher Walken was in that movie too. The second one.
Oh yeah, he was Max Schreck.
Danny DeVito also Throw Mama from the Train.
Oh my God.
Very quirky. It was a quirky, culty movie, but you're right. I mean, but see, Danny's another guy that's like Sam Jackson. He brings his DeVito-ness to everything, and it's always good. You know, it really is always good.
Oh, yeah. He's so great.
Yeah.
Let's see what other people are texting. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport. He was in Bloodsport.
He was in Bloodsport, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the one that I think of when it comes out, and that's just because Bloodsport had an amazing nut shot. He does the splits and punches a dude in the balls.
Okay, well there you go.
I was just gonna say in the episode of Friends where he plays himself and he dates two of the girls.
Wait, he was in Friends?
Okay,
on an episode he dates both Rachel and Monica.
So this is if not everybody says the same thing, then it's not an iconic.
No, it's not. But that's literally the only thing I've seen him in.
David Spade.
Ooh.
Joe Dirt.
Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, see now the first thing I thought of was Tommy Boy.
Oh, that's
good call. But really, it's sad that he's the straight man to really the iconic character,
Chris Farley.
To Chris Farley.
And of course, when you think of him, it's Beverly Hills Ninja.
See, Steve, I'm the same way
down by the river, man.
I'm with you, Steve. I really am. Haru to me is a much more iconic character than Tommy Boy.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, no.
You knew his name from the movie. Jeez, BJ.
Haru is great. Dude, I think Tommy Boy's a great movie, but I think Chris Farley's like ninja guy is amazing. It should be iconic because he really makes you believe at some point that he's serious about trying to be this guy, and he makes you fall for the character. And that's why I think I love Haru. I want to watch that movie again. Oh man, Beverly Hills Ninja. I know you're I didn't know you were sarcastic, Steve, because
I don't hate the movie, but that's not what I think of when I think of him.
I love him in that role. He is so. I mean, when he's using the two big fish as nunchucks, to me is like comedy gold.
Wow. Okay, how about Al Pacino?
Whoa,
Scarface?
Boy, yeah. People would argue, the Godfather movies, but I feel like, I think Scarface. You got to. That's what I think of.
When you say Al Pacino, I just think hooah from Scent of a Woman, but it's not the character; it's just the hooah.
Yeah, and that really, you're right, Rev. But really, I feel like some people think that's what he said before he said "Say hello to my little friend" because hooah is so iconic. I forget that you're right. That's in a different movie. I
totally
always
different
put in my
movie.
head. He's like, hooah! Say hello to my little friend. But you're right; those are two different movies. Yeah, he's definitely iconic for Scarface. He's a great actor.
I never saw Scarface. The only reason that I know Al Pacino was because we sold so much Scarface T-shirts at Hot Topic.
Oh my God,
that was like
BJ had a button-up shirt that had the Scarface character on it.
Yeah,
a dress shirt.
Yeah,
it was the Dragonfly company of shirts that mostly you hated every one that I had,
including that one.
People, you did not. People like that one. I got compliments on that one.
Steve Miggs is not people.
Yeah, you heard it here first, kids.
Line.
Flag that. You heard it here first. All right. Well, that's great. So really, man, we don't have a lot of great examples like Anthony Hopkins and William Shatner. I mean, really, those two, you think of their characters that they played a long time ago, and you still think of them as those characters, man.
Oh, I just thought of the kid who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't know his name, though.
He had to quit Jack Gleason, I think, or something like that. But he had to quit acting because people thought he was such a jerk because of that show, so he just kind of quit acting for a while.
It's like moments like that where you just realize that there are not a lot of bright people in this world. I mean, I see obviously in the world of in wrestling where like people get mad at like someone who plays a character on wrestling, and the argument used to always be like, are you mad at Sir Anthony Hopkins because he was a serial killer that was eating people and stuff? Now we realize that Martha Stewart, was mad at him for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's always so weird when you believe the character that much that like you can't differentiate that this is just an actor.
Yeah, I would be like, Martha, you're a head case, or are you just trying to let me down easy with a stupid excuse? You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense because Mark Hamill, got slapped for playing a soap opera character that was a bad guy. And it was just like, wow, this is before his Luke days. And it's just like, so this has been going on for a long time that people just can't separate the actor from the character.
It does get you thinking about like the most like a ridiculous reason why you ended dating somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that you couldn't differentiate him or separate yourself from Anthony Hopkins, a human being, and Anthony Hopkins, who's playing Hannibal Lecter, is kind of crazy.
Unless he really is like that.
Unless he eats his soup by going.
Yeah, every once in a while, an actor gets to play they get to play somebody, an actor that's really close to who they are. So what if this is really who he is? It's a sweet role because that's who I am.
Or like some actors, they get really caught up in being that person. Like Jim Carrey, he's very method actor. So like he'll like be Andy Kaufman the entire time he's doing Man on the Moon and stuff.
Hey, by the way, that's a good one. I think Ace Ventura. Wouldn't you say that's pretty much? Oh no, Dumb and Dumber.
Truman Show.
The Mask.
Fire Marshal Bill.
There's a lot of Jim
never
Carrey.
mind. It doesn't work for Jim
And the
Carrey.
Riddler.
Yeah,
Not the Riddler.
I think of the Riddler because he's so funny looking.
Okay, Vicky is showing us that whatever we think that an iconic character is, Vicky is going to say, no, I got a completely different relate altogether.
I'm basing this off of my childhood.
Well, yeah,
that was one of the
the
first ones.
That's the thing, though. So that means that it's not working for every generation if, in fact, Vicky can't think of the same things.
This is a good one. Paul Rubens.
Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Adult movie theater, me personally, but that's just
Did he do anything else besides Pee Wee Herman?
himself in a theater.
Well, I know
He's done a lot.
but-
He's done stuff, and he's actually been really good in the stuff. As a matter of fact, Danny,
did
you forgot.
Gotham.
Was he in Batman or something?
Yeah, he was in this. He was in the second Batman movie. You totally forgot that was him. He was Penguin's dad.
And he was in the Gotham TV show, also Penguin's dad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. I forgot that he played that's kind of cool that he did that. He was also in Mystery Men as Fart Man. He was called the Spleen, but he was basically had fart powers. But he was really good in that. I mean, he's a good performer, but unfortunately, because he did what everybody does, granted he did in a theater. But I would argue if you're a theater showing that kind of stuff, you almost. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen?
Yeah, there's a reason why people just kind of sit to themselves in a row and don't really have like someone sitting right next to them. Like, in those places. Like you're not going to sit next to somebody like, you want to share some popcorn?
First theater that had a 6-foot rule.
Yeah, don't feel like he's the first guy to ever go to a theater that specializes in that kind of entertainment.
But he was the host of a children's show, and it was just a weird look.
Yeah.
Well, it was a weird look because it got reported. It's funny. 20 years prior, probably wouldn't have been reported. Like, if Mr. Rogers had done that, there's no way that would have been reported.
Watch your mouth. Mr. Rogers would never do that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, because he had his own little private Never land that he could go to and do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, that was the land of make-believe, sir.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell it was.
He's not Michael Jackson.
I know. I was like, what?
Well, he doesn't have any kids back there with him. It's just him.
And puppets.
And puppets.
All right, well, puppets are still, they're not real, so do what you want back there.
Oh, God.
But they never blink.
Won't you be my neighbor?
You.
Okay. No, too soon? Fine. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
How many neck bones do humans have?
1.
No.
6.
No.
9.
No.
Oh, you finally got it, Steve.
7.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Too late. Day late, buddy. Doesn't count. You want a shot at beating Steve? Okay, you got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs. We'll do that at 8:48 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.